Talking Again podcast.
Tuned in to the tap in. We talking again. Yeah. Welcome to the podcast. Might talk a little shit, get a little brash. Might drink a little bit, smoke a little bit. Vibe a little bit, laugh a little bit. Yeah. Hosted by Fidel. Tell it like it is, only tell it real. Live every Tuesday, you know the deal. We talking again. You now tuned in to the tap in. You now tuned in to the tap in. You now tuned in to the tap in. We talking again. Come on.
What's up, everybody? This is Fidel Talking Again podcast. We're here, another edition of the show. In studio, I have DJ LF.
Yo, what up?
How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good, man.
Straight
Thank you for the invite. Thank you for the brew. Thank you for
cheers.
Salud. Shout out to your listeners. Shout out to your viewers. You know, I mean, let's have a brew together. Tap in. You know, let's go.
Whatever time you guys are listening to or watching it, break open a bottle of beer there or a can. You know,
Or a kawama. You know?
a kawama. Yeah. I do cans here because I like to recycle.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy for me. The cans always taste. I don't know for you, but the cans taste different from bottle.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
I agree.
Yeah.
Which one do you prefer? I prefer can.
It depends on the beer, bro. Depends on the beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the beer because for instance, like a Michelob, I feel like it tastes a little bit different in a bottle than it does in a can.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with you.
Yeah, and then they, on another note, like Tecate, like I feel like that one could only be drank in a can. In a can. Yeah.
But you put lime in.
Yeah.
That's
See,
what
that's what I'm saying. So see, it's just,
yeah. It's got its little differences. What about Corona?
Corona, you know,
You're like, fuck that, I don't drink
yeah,
Corona.
I was gonna say, bro. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I got.
What do you think this is? Fast and the Furious? You remember that?
Yeah, bro. I think I was gonna say Corona back then was like good. Like, I mean, I'm talking about maybe like 15 years plus, but I don't know what happened, bro. Like, it just like,
Dude, it got the moniker of skunk beer,
yeah, for real, bro.
right? It's skunk beer. That's it.
Yeah, man.
I'll still drink it though.
Yeah, me too. I'll drink it. I mean, I'm not gonna turn down a beer,
But I gotta put that lime in there.
Yeah,
Tajin.
Neo, bro. I'll just drink it like that.
Chile?
Just
There you go.
drink it. Not to say to get it out of the way, but just to
Yeah.
just to.
But it has to be ice cold.
Yeah, that too. Yeah,
It has to
that's
be
for
ice
sure.
cold.
That's
Otherwise,
that's
valendo madre.
Yeah, then it
I'm
tastes
not
like
drinking this.
skunk for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, thanks for coming by, dude.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
All the way from Palm Springs.
From Palm Springs, man.
Yeah,
Palm
man.
Springs, California, dude.
Yeah.
Way, I don't want to say way down south, but yeah, we're way down there. And, you know, I like I tell a lot of my friends, I mean, you know, people that don't know Palm Springs area, we're pretty centralized because, you know, we're 2 hours, not even 2 hours. We're about an hour and a half from Mexicali, you know, from the border.
Yeah.
We're obviously 2 hours from LA, 2 hours from San Diego, 4 hours from Las Vegas, 4 hours from Laughlin, 4 hours from Phoenix.
Yeah.
So we're, I guess I wouldn't say kind of close to everything, but we're just kind of like out there in the middle of nowhere. So
Yeah.
yeah, for
Nice.
sure.
Yeah. That's where everybody goes to retire. They used to say, but now it's like they go over there to party.
To party, bro. To
Yeah.
party. Even the old people go out to the party, man. Yeah. I mean, there's so many. I don't want to put them on blast, but there's a lot of like resorts that are what they call like, you know, lifestyle, which are like alternative, like what do you call it? Like swinger stuff?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So yeah. So I mean,
So do they have like a lot of cougar clubs over there? Because I know like we're talking about Anaheim earlier.
yeah.
And in Anaheim, I was just having a conversation with somebody earlier today about the Firefox. There's a club called the Firefox in Anaheim Hills.
What? Really?
Yeah, and they used to call it the Cougar Club.
Oh,
Like,
damn! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Yeah, so
Wow.
do they have anything like that over there?
Yeah, they have a lot of that over there. yeah, they have this one place called I forgot the name of it.
Trying to take notes.
Shit. Yeah, I know. Right? Take notes, bro. It's in Indian Wells, but that's the name of the city that the club is in. Shit, I forgot the name of it. But yeah, so that particular club is the Cougar Club. You know, that's where all the
Right on.
they're out there looking for sure.
looking for their. What would you call it? What would be the opposite of a sugar daddy? I guess would it be like I don't know. You guys let us know down below in the comments. Hey, a little bit of homework for you guys.
Yeah, they're not gonna be looking. Yeah,
But no, dude. So what? DJ LF. What does the LF stand for?
LF stands for Latin flavor, bro.
Latin flavor.
Latin flavor, sabor latino.
So it's not Liquid Fingers.
It is actually. Well, that was my breakdance name. That was
was?
my breakdance name. Yeah, that was my breakdance name. It stemmed from that because my whole DJing, so to speak, started with my dancing, my breakdancing. For anybody that's a breakdancer or that is a dancer in general, you typically want instrumentals, or the whole term breakdance came from the break of the song. So you would hear like a drum beat, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they would break, because that's the break of the song, right?
Yeah.
And so what happened in my case was I would hear a particular song and I'd be like, man, this break was only 30 seconds, if that, or a minute or something, right? And I'd be like, I wish this part of the song was longer.
Yeah.
So that it can give me more time to break dance, to do my moves, right? And so yeah, and then this was all before YouTube and stuff. And I remember seeing, I think it was like Breaking with I forgot who the DJ was at the Glove. And there's a part where he's going back and forth with the same song, and so he's like just making the song longer, that part longer.
Yeah, the break.
I was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. I was like, that's what I want to do, And so coincidentally too, my tios at the time, I know we were talking earlier about my tios that used to live in Eagle Rock and Highland Park.
Yeah.
They would bring me out to their gigs because they had their own little sonidero.
Mm-hmm.
And my family's from DF, Mexico City. My dad's side of the family, at least.
Yeah.
So lo que es los cumbias, yeah,
salsa cumbia.
Oh yeah, they love that, Mm-hmm. So and they would take me out with them and help primarily to help them set up run wires and all that, you know. And sure enough, like when they would want to have a break to either go have a beer or go dance or go to the restroom or go eat, right? Me being 10, 11 years old, 12 years old, they would be like, hey, we'll play a song, we'll play this, or just push play, and let it run, make sure it doesn't, turn off it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like that. That's kind of how it started and stuff. And then as I got older, I did more of the gigs with them and for them. And then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get my own system. And I always wanted my own system, and I bought my own little CD player at the time, one piece, and plugged it up to their setup. And then just by chance, and a lot of people laugh at this story because I was coming out of school one day in high school, and some crackhead, like literally some crackhead bum, was like, hey bro, I got these turntables for sale. And I was like, what? I was like, fuck yeah,
I'll give you $5.
Yeah, dude. So I was like, how much you want from him? And he was like, whatever, you just give me something. And I was like, and I just happen to have 20.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll give you $20 here, And so he had a pair of 2 turntables, and I didn't know anything about turntables or anything back then, but I just knew there were turntables, and I could play records on.
Yeah.
And because I gave him a 20, he was like, oh, I got this record here with it too. And so I was like, I'll take it too. So, and that's kind of how it all started from that point. And then,
nice.
So I was like, then I realized, these turntables suck. So I was like, and I was like, this record sucks too. So I was like, I got to get more music. But that's how it kind of stemmed from that.
But that was that introduction to
that was the introduction. So Liquid Fingers was what started it, in the sense that, so on that note too, my buddies would be like, because I would pop lock a lot, they'd be like, yo, like you're, like Liquid Fingers and stuff. And then my same buddy was, when I started DJing a little bit more, he's like, dude, like do what you do, on the turntables, just like all Liquid. And I was like, all right, cool, for sure. So
do you still to this day do that?
I
get animated.
I do after a couple more of these. Yeah, I do. I don't move as well, because I used to do ground moves too, some major like power moves breakdancing wise. But I mean, as far as pop lock, I still can, and I still if I feel like surprising some people that you're like, oh, just to not show off, but just just kind of be like, have them be like, wow, so
give them a little show.
Yeah. Give them a little.
Well,
show.
that's part of DJing. It's not so much just like spinning it. It's a little bit of theatrics, right?
Yeah, it's the entertainment part of it, bro. I mean, it's it's the theatrics in a sense that, I mean, you are giving them a show, but at the same time, what I've learned throughout the years and is that as a DJ, your body language has a lot to do with what you play. Mm-hmm. So obviously, I don't want to say I portray, but because I really am a kind of a person that's really outgoing and very energetic, and when I get behind the turntables. Yeah. So that part, I think people see it and they're like, like, oh yeah, he's a party animal, so to speak. But like, it's really because also I want people to have a good time.
Yeah.
So whether they're having a good time with the music or they're having a good time with me,
Mm-hmm.
that's the main thing that I always try and. Yeah.
It's all about energy, right?
Yeah.
It's energy. So that
sure.
they when people see it, they feel it, and then
yeah, I know it's funny because before this whole term, people say good vibes only and vibes and that, and I truly believed in it and believe in it now still, because back then and still to this day, like that's kind of like what I really try and, like I said, give back to the people, and you feed that, you feed that and you feel it too at the same time, because it's there, it's constantly, it's something that I feel like is a universal language. Yeah. So
music in general, right? Doesn't that bring people together with just music? Yeah,
alone? Man. It's kind of, I don't want to get too philosophical, but like think about like what the world would be without music, because we would, even our voice, our voice projects, our voices, obviously sound traveling through the air, right? So if we didn't have, our voice behind it or music behind it, we'd be just obviously just talking side language and stuff, which wouldn't be bad, but we would just, we wouldn't know, what would make us, just like your tone of voice, you want to know what makes you mad or what makes you happy or makes you sad, So it's like, so totally, music is as life, so to speak, definitely is for sure. It gets the people going. That's
at 10 years old, when you're messing around with your uncle's equipment,
mm-hmm.
At that time, did you know like, hey, I'm gonna be a DJ, or did you just know that you have somewhat of a passion for music? And
I didn't know that that's what I wanted to do, but I did have a passion for music. Once again, I guess, thank you, Dad. But yeah, he would put me in front of the cameras and, play, cumbias and stuff. And I remember from the youngest ages that I can remember that my dad was always playing music at that time. Like I said, either cumbias or retro disco.
Yeah.
So that's that kind of, that disco area of funk and stuff. And, even at the family parties, but I think it's also kind of like a Latino thing that we grow up with, like all Latinos,
it's kind of like in the blood.
Yeah. Because I think we just like to have fun.
Yeah.
We're somos una gente bien alegres, so,
Mm-hmm.
And especially when we get with, people that we consider family, or we, consider like, just, people that we want to have a good time with, and stuff.
Yeah.
And, music is a big part of it. And so I think that like, at that age, like I said, I didn't think, or I didn't know that I was going to be a DJ, but I was like, what, this is what I love. I love music. And for sure, I had that utmost respect for it and, appreciation for it for sure. Yeah. Because man, I remember getting my dad's, tape, cassettes and stuff and listening to his stuff. Actually, as a matter of fact, one of the cassettes that I remember playing the most up until they stopped making cassette players was Thriller. Michael Jackson. So he was definitely one of the inspirations too, because for back to the breakdancing stuff, I would watch like Moonwalker or like Thriller the video or like Beat It, and I would see like some of the when they would do the whole dance and stuff. I'd be like so that was kind of like because of the fact that I would listen to that cassette that my dad had. So it's just kind of like. Yeah, I always had that, like I said, just that music in me. So to speak. Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, you keep talking about these cassettes, right? I was trying to, back in the day when you get that tape cassette, you wanted to record over it, you put that tape over it, remember? You just put like tape over it.
I would just record over it.
Well, there's some like they had tabs, right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So
I remember that, yeah.
And I think, I don't know if it was like you had to put tape over it and then it would record over it. Otherwise you couldn't if it was open or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. I don't remember, but I used to record over old cassette tapes because I couldn't afford 99 cents out of a Maxwell cassette tape,
Well, yeah, I remember that there was a clear part of the strip, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I remember,
So we used to, I used to get on there and record music that I was listening on the radio.
Okay, yeah.
And then try to like somehow mix that in and dub it. Johnny Be Good. I remember that song, Johnny Be Good Tonight. And I remember I tried to do a little demo remix of it. It came out all nasty, raunchy. One of my friends really dug it, but. Yeah. But did you ever try like mixing on cassette, or did you go straight to mixing with vinyl?
I made mixtapes. I remember, like you said, being, but I fortunately, I think, well, it's because I think my dad, he would record cassettes too. So I think I remember because I don't remember ever buying them. I just remember seeing the blank cassettes there in the house, and with the blank cassettes that were there in the house, I had a little boombox, and I would listen to the radio, and I would just record. I would record the songs that I liked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think I still have some of those. But yeah, I mean,
Oh wow.
yeah, and even though they were probably not recorded in the best way or like mixed the same the greatest way, but yeah, I mean, I remember doing that. And when it came to CDs though, I didn't really start learning how to record CDs until the whole like LimeWire and Napster stuff came out, because even though
the good old days.
Yeah, right. I know. So even though like my dad also had CDs and stuff, but I would play the song, but I didn't know the whole I didn't know how to make a whole like a mixtape on a CD, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like having a CD with a bunch of different songs on it. So I mean, I played the CD. It was the end of that, and then whether I rewinded it or fast forwarded, but that was about it.
Just like tracks or whatever.
Yeah.
So when did it all start for you? Like, was it in high school and you guys were doing vinyl and going to the house parties?
High school was the start of it. And because I had the turntables, I was the one throwing the parties. So
the ones that you bought from the
because I had at that point,
tweaker?
like I said, I had the right. I know that's so crazy because you think about it now, it's like, man, that was dangerous. Because that dude could have like sold me drugs or
could have
like,
just took your 20 or
whatever. Punch me. Yeah, exactly. So thank God nothing happened to me. But but that's kind of when it started because like I said, my Theo at the time, he's only maybe 5-6 years older than me, so he was the one getting all the alcohol. He was the one buying the alcohol for the high schoolers, for me and my friends and stuff. And so of course the house parties got big, and because like I said, I had the two turntables, and then I like I mentioned earlier, I already had a CD player, and then I did I have a mixer? I can't remember if I had it. Yeah, I did have a mixer. I had a mixer already too, so it was one song here, dude, moving to this, it's kind of like that, and with my dad's home speakers and and the amp too. So then I went through so many speakers, but so everybody knows that. Well, my high school friends, they always remind me, they're like, those house parties that you did, like that was the start of it on. I'm like, yeah, it really was. So, yeah,
nice,
for sure. Yeah.
And then from there, excuse me, you didn't get into the radio biz right away, right?
No, what's crazy? I always wanted to be in the radio too. I always wanted to be in the radio because once again, just from listening to radio DJs, announce the songs and the way they would have that kind of like that swag of like, and then I always saw radio DJs kind of like superstars, even though they were regular people. Now that I see them, they're just kind of like, just whatever, right?
Yeah.
I always saw them kind of like superstars, and the thing is that I always wanted to be radio. Actually, kind of more in my college years, I always wanted to be like I felt like that's kind of where I wanted to go. And I do remember, not I shouldn't say applying, but I remember talking to a couple of the radio DJs that I knew
on campus or outside.
Outside of campus, and I remember telling him, hey, you know what do I got to do to be on the radio and stuff? And it was never really a straight answer. Finally, one of them told me, hey, you know what, the way you can start or get your way in is if you once again go with us to help set up cables and the remotes and stuff is what they call it. So I never went through with it because at the time my priority was just mainly my work, my 9 to 5. And so I was like, why am I gonna do that if it's not gonna pay me and it's not gonna it's I don't want to say a waste of time, but it was kind of like just, it wasn't, like I said, my priority at the time. And so it's crazy that it fell in my lap during COVID, because I was like, what, this is what I've kind of always wanted, because I felt like the radio was my avenue to be able to not only express myself on the mic, but also, I don't know, give I guess you say, give myself that exposure, I guess you could say, so that was kind of like the idea behind it.
Yeah.
So Yeah, so yeah, I'm glad I'm on it now. So that's for sure.
I've always wanted to do that voice, that radio voice, like you mentioned it earlier, like personality, right?
The commercial voice,
the commercial voice, like aquí estamos Radio Láser, like that. Yeah. But I know I can never hold it. I just do it for fun.
Yeah.
But you don't use that voice. You're you.
That me. Yeah, I'm me.
But there is guys that are like that. Like, are they now? Them? Are they the same way off the air?
No.
Or do they also?
Well, actually,
they straight up turn it on. Maybe it's a little higher.
No, I should say there is one person that I met. Rest in peace. He just recently passed away, but he was exactly like that, off and on the air. So he was intense. Always like like in that kind of like whoa, like tenemos que, like así como like so him, yes. Everybody else, no, they're more. They turn it off.
They just turn it on and off.
They're like más callados. They're like the more, kind of like reserved, kind of like, it's kind of weird.
I always wondered, man.
Yeah, man.
Always wondered. Like like out here, we remember like, I'm sure he was, what do they call it? When you're in different stages, cities.
Mm-hmm.
What do they call it?
Rebroadcasted and stuff. I know.
Rebroadcast.
Is a particular word.
No,
yeah. Simulcast, I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Syndicated.
There you go.
So at Piolín, right? I grew up with a Piolín, and for the younger crowd, I guess would be what was the other guy? El Cucuy. Oh no, El Cucuy. Piolín was the younger ones. El Cucuy was for the older guys.
That's right. Yeah.
That was like me.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I was gonna Cucuy. Yeah. 40 years old. So that was El Cucuy.
No, I remember that because of my tío. Yeah, no, I mean, well, like like another one would be like Big Boy, I guess,
Okay, well that would be more for like our job. Yeah.
Right.
Big Boy, Baker Boys. Baker Boys, those guys. Yeah, but so that's kind of like what influenced you, like listening to that too. Like, hey man, I want to get into radio.
Yeah, hearing them, and like I said, and hearing the local, radio DJs. I remember that my earliest recollection of like trying to or wanting to be like that, like them was I think it was Big Boy, but he was on Power. It was on Power.
Power.
Yeah, I remember it was around the time. And I'm gonna show my age too. I remember when the Chronic, the first album came out, so I remember listening to it in LA with my family out there, and like I said, Highland Park, and I remember them introducing it like that and stuff, and I was like, that's pretty badass. I was like, I want to do that. Nice, so. But it's different from being a DJ at night. That's for sure. The nightlife is a completely different animal.
So I know we kind of brushed over that, when we started talking about the radio broadcasting. So the nightlife DJ stuff, you did that way before, right? The radio.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where you cut your teeth. And when did that come in? Was it right out of high school? Or maybe even during high school.
Yeah, imagine.
Some kids probably,
Yeah, well, actually, it's true.
Young kids.
Some kids.
My cousin, I know my cousin was DJing.
Oh, really?
He couldn't get into those clubs, man. He was just in there like, I'm 21.
Yes, he would, right? I was gonna say I met some kids like that too. No, mine happened after college. DJing was always my passion. DJing has always been my passion. And I was gonna say that during college, I kind of started doing a little bit more of the private stuff. Private gigs here and there. Like quinceañeras, weddings. Took it upon myself, to do that. For extra side money, and I always kept that with that aspect of this is gonna be my side money. This is my extra hustle. So even when I graduated, when I graduated, because I was in retail. I was in retail for a very long time, for probably 10 years. I got to a point where I was like, man, I don't know, something clicked. It was kind of like, I told myself, if I had a 5-year plan. And I said, if I'm not where I want to be in 5 years, something has to change.
Yeah.
So what happened was that 5-year came up, and I was like, shit, what happened? I'm not where I'm at. I was where I was at money wise, but I was not where I wanted to be. I guess you could say nivel, like a kind of like a position wise,
passion, mixing in.
And so I was like, and I'm actually referring to as for the retail career, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I have my side business, my DJing. If I had applied, and I learned this from my dad's, from viewing my dad's business, because my dad owned a business, his home, or not home, but his own private business. And I was like, if I applied these 5 years that I just wasted into my own business, which would have been my DJing, how far could I get?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so I was like, you know what, screw this. So it was a leap of faith. I left the retail. I left, you know, my position that I was at. I was an assistant manager, you know, leaving the benefits and all that crap and stuff. And I was like, well, I'm going to focus, you know, on making my 9 to 5, my DJing. Yeah. And so that's what I did. And so at that point, it was close. It's been close to about 8 years, yeah, probably about 8 years that I've been doing DJing, and I'm talking about like DJing straight, like
as a full-time
job. Yeah. So
wow.
Yeah. So that's for sure. I mean, that's when the nightlife kind of happened, and yeah, like I said, I mean, yeah, you know, I'd get invited to do like what we call guest sets, like a 30-minute thing or an hour thing here and there by friends, but it was never really kind of like a paid thing. It was kind of like, you know what, because I knew them, they were being nice, or because, you know, they wanted the girls to come, you know, or, you know, like, or some whatever reason, right? And that was the way it was before I actually took that leap of faith. Once I took that leap of faith, I was like, you know, I gotta do it to get paid, to pay for my stuff. Yeah. So,
but some of that stuff was like kind of like a workout for you too, though, right? Like, you know, you're getting to be out there and see what it's like, and learn, you know, from those experiences, right? Did you have any like weird bad experiences?
A lot, man. Yeah, man. Definitely, you know, it ranges from, coming from like to request to places I've DJ'd at.
Yeah, well, we've heard the requesting so many times, right? Like the people that come in and requesting all the same songs over and over.
Yeah, you know, or just random songs that you're like, what do you want to do? Why do you want to do that? You know, like to
Cotton Eye Joe. No one listens to Cotton Eye Joe over here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't heard that one in a while, man. Yeah, I wouldn't mind playing it, you know, just to do it. Yeah, right. You know, to like I said, to places I've DJ'd at, to seeing crazy things, you know, like as far as like fights and stuff like that. You know, I mean, you name it all. I mean, the nightlife it's a different animal for sure. It's a different animal for sure. It's but I will tell you this, that one of my managers, or one of the owners of one of the clubs, told me that once you're in the nightlife grabs a hold of you, and the nightlife will never leave you. Yeah. Yes.
Do you control the nightlife, or does the nightlife control you?
Oh man, I don't know. Well, I mean, in what way, bro?
You know what I'm talking about? Like that stuff. Some of that stuff sucks you in. You know, we're talking alcohol, drugs start kicking in. You know, like there's you know, rock stars, right? You know, you talked about it, right? Like the guys and DJs. A DJ, you know, at a nightclub is a rock star. You know, you go to see the DJ, but you're gonna get here. Hey, DJ, take this, and you know, right? That's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, not at all. I can tell you that it'll control you to a certain aspect. I mean, because if you were to ask me this question maybe 5 years ago, I would have said, yeah, you know, like it definitely, you know, has a hold on you. You know, 5 years later now, no, because I know where my limits at. I know, you know, what I can do. I know what I shouldn't do. What I, you know, what I mean. I know how much to drink, or if I want to drink, or if I don't want to drink, you know. So it's like, you know, a lot has happened in that time that I was like, you know what, like it I would say that nightlife does take a hold of you, in a sense that like, the fun part of it, like the whole energy part of it, the whole, like, you know, like that's, you know, like it's weird. It's a whole vibe in that sense, but then there's also that other part of it, the aspect of the nightlife that's kind of like
the dark side.
The dark side, exactly. The dark side of it. That's kind of like that can take a hold of you too, if you're not strong enough to be able to fight it.
But see that, you know, so there was a transition period, and that's, you know, a lot of people haven't passed that. You know, right? You know, there's a lot of people that probably get stuck in that, or never get past it. So it's a good thing that you were able to, you know, figure that part out.
Yeah, you know, I mean, going into it, I already was like aware of it, and you know, like I said, I mean, it went from, you know, moderate stuff to extreme stuff to, you know, moderate stuff, and then like I was just like, okay, well, you know, that's, you know, like, yeah, I'm already past that stage, you know. So it's like, yeah, I got to that point where I was like, So if I'm at a club, I mean, I don't necessarily have to drink, to have a good time. I mean, I can perform and I can give you my vibe. I can give you the same energy. I can give you that fun aspect of it.
You can work without having to.
Yeah. So that's for sure.
That's the difference between that professional and the one that just kind of.
Yeah. That's the difference there too, is that, some, like I said, I mean, if I was, if this question was asked in my mid-20s, I would, I wouldn't say it was professional to a certain extent, but it was more like fun. If anything, like, oh yeah, I just want to go have fun. That's kind of, and now even too, like, I'm like, I tell people, I'm like, I really only go out when I DJ.
Mm-hmm.
That's my fun, so to speak. It's not, I don't go out to go out anymore. It's kind of like, that's the end of it, end of all things. So yeah, that's for sure.
I totally forgot. We didn't even get into Coachella. Yeah, you're known for the the DJ Coachella.
Yeah, man.
When did that start about?
Gosh, that when did it? 2018?
I mean, it's your backyard, right? But so
yeah, Coachella. Yeah, well, it literally is actually. I live down the street from it. Yeah. So for a lot of people that don't know, Coachella Fest is in the Palm Springs area.
Mm-hmm.
So Coachella, the term Coachella is actually from a city in the Palm Springs area that's called Coachella, but the whole kind of like in LA, there's the San Gabriel Valley,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, right. So this Palm Springs is located in the Coachella Valley, which is obviously the whole general location of where we're at. But yeah, so Coachella Fest is out there, and I was nominated 2 years in a row for best event DJ.
Yeah.
And then finally in 2019 I won best club DJ.
Nice.
So that was cool. And then I got nominated again during the pandemic, which is kind of weird. I was like, well, there's nothing open, so but I didn't win that.
You weren't doing virtual Coachella?
Yeah, right. I know. Yeah, so but it was kind of from a carryover from 2019. So I didn't win it, but I mean, still I was just grateful for the fact that I was nominated 4 years and I won 1 year. So I was like,
nice.
that was totally cool. And it definitely was an experience to be there and represent not only the Coachella Valley, but the majority of the DJs that that come from there and stuff. And so
from all over the place, no?
From all over the place, yeah. So it was kind of like, I was like, wow. I was like, what the you're giving me this? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But like I mean, I'm humble to the sense that like I felt like I never needed an award to to show off, or I never needed an award to to show my work, so to speak, because when I show my work is really when you're there in front of me at wherever I'm playing at. But it was definitely like I said, I was definitely grateful for the award for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
But yeah, so that was that. But yeah, Coachella in a sense it's an animal too. I mean, it's definitely one of the bigger festivals in the US, I would say. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think the other two are Ulta, which is in Miami, and then the EDC. But Coachella has, it's.
I mean, it's definitely the biggest in Southern California for sure.
For sure.
So
yeah, definitely. I mean, I've met people from different parts of Cali, but also like I said, from different parts of the world. So yeah, it's accumulation of different styles of music for sure. Yeah, and so that's it was being there. It's kind of like it's an honor too. Yeah.
Speaking of styles of music, when you started DJing. We're talking like the nightlife DJs. The style of music, it's changed, right?
Yeah.
How drastic has it changed? So like I was just asking you, like perreo. I remember reggaeton. I'm like, hey, what happened to reggaeton? No, it's perreo. Like what's like you gotta you have to school me on what perreo is, because I know some of my audience was like, what is he talking about?
Perreo is more just a little bit more. I don't want to say raunchy, but it's just a reggaeton, a little bit more up tempo. And it has a lot more drums, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. So, and the drums are obviously for the girls to get all crazy with it. Yeah. So al perreo,
al perreo, a lot of booty,
al estilo perro,
booty shaking, a lot of twerking.
Yeah, that part. It's almost like how Miami sound hip hop was, like with Two Live Crew and like Uncle Luke, so it was that kind of like, it was hip hop, but it was still like like that fast movement type hip hop. So that's how perreo is now. I remember reggaeton when it first started. I mean, I was a fan of it. I mean, I remember the only artist that I really knew was Daddy Yankee and stuff, and I knew
Wisin and Yandel,
and the crazy thing is that I only had like I mean, I don't want to say like in a sad way, but like 3 or 4 friends that they couldn't speak English too well, but I mean, pero I mean, because I can communicate in Spanish, not the greatest, but I can understand it, you know. And the only way we would communicate is, you know, pues de la música. And so they would show me the you know, el reggaeton de antes. And I was like, yeah, you know, this sounds exactly like almost like a cumbia, you know, beat. I mean, a little bit more different, but I mean, it had that kind of like the Latin style. And yeah, man, I mean, the principio, like at the inicio when I first started DJing, I remember, so I started DJing more or less when, like, you know, Little John first started coming out, like 2004, 2005. You know, Pitbull first started coming out too. But who was big back then? I mean, like Ludacris was big. You know, T.I., all those guys, right? And so, you know, we're talking about like, you know, hip hop, still hip hop and stuff. And so the Latin scene wasn't as así como tan grande como, you know, the way it is now and stuff. And I remember putting reggaeton and people were vibing into it, but they weren't as accepted to it. You know, they were kind of like, you know, like,
unsure. What's going on here?
Exactly. As a matter of fact, I remember, así como Latinos, when I would play it, like así como en los like quinceañeras or weddings and stuff, when I would play reggaeton, they thought of it more of like a bachata, kind of more like a salsa, kind of like, you know, like así como, no así tan como perreo, era más como like, you know, just kind of like, you know. So yeah, but it's come a long ways, and I tell my friends that, you know, it's cool because, you know, I love the fact that it's so accepted now, in a sense that and nothing against, you know, my white people, and I don't mean it like that, in that way, but, you know, it's cool that you guys, you know, or, you know, other cultures, you know, accept it, because like now, like, you know, J Balvin or, you know, Bad Bunny, when it, you know, when I'm at a club, you know, it's the other colors that, you know, like, you know, the other, you know, the peoples that, you know, love, you know, that ask for it, you know, and it's like, oh shit, okay, cool, that's what's up. It's because I just got back from Salt Lake City, Utah, thinking, you know, it was gonna be, you know, a certain way. Joe. Yeah, you know, for reals, bro. Yeah, you know, because it's una ciudad de puros, you know, Mormons, right?
Mormons, yeah.
And no, man, I was completely surprised. It was like a complete 180, porque la gente allá, you know, the way I told a lot of my friends, they have swag. They, you know, they were dancing the hip hop like así como, you know, and they were and the Latino club that I went to, it was like the majority of them, 80% of them were, you know, light skinned, and I was like, and they were, you know, dancing it like así como, you know, I was like, that's what's up, you know.
Nice.
For sure.
Yeah, they bought in.
Yeah, you know.
Well, so, you know, that was one of the big questions growing up when reggaeton was out. That's the first year or two, you know, you're listening to it, it's jamming, we're jamming to everything, right? But we're like, how long is it gonna last?
True.
You know, is there a shelf life on this?
Yeah.
That was the honest question.
Yeah.
I know I asked it too.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be that long, and then now it's actually transitioned to something else. Like, it's totally different.
It's totally different porque te voy a decir que
in a great positive way.
In a great way, yes, definitely, for sure. Because I remember the deep house days, like, and you know, house is still around, electronica, you know, and that's the kind of music that I do. But deep house, and I'm talking about like DJ Henry, DJ Irene, DJ like, you know, Humpty Vision, like it was all that deep, you know, like doom, you know, kind of stuff, and it came and then it phased out, right, you know, and then también like the alternative rock, like así como like Blink 182, who else, you know, like gosh, I can't even think, I don't want to say Green Day, you know, like I don't even say, well, Peppers is my favorite band, but I was gonna say, you know, stuff like that, you know, like you know, it had its wave too, like, you know, it was popular for a good while and stuff, and then, you know, people, you know, like Linkin Park was another brand, you know, and then they kind of faded away, you know, stuff. Pero lo que era Latino, like Latinos is still hitting, man. So he's still around, still.
I mean, and Daddy Yankee's still performing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he is, dude.
You know, he originated it. Well, he's one of the originators.
The father.
Yeah.
Oh,
is that what they call him? The
father? Yeah, father of it. Yeah, and then, well, Ivy Queen would be the, you know, the mother of it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
So
that's right.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
See. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's cool that it's still around for sure. Yeah.
It seems like you're having fun. You're still having a blast. You know, what's next? What's next year? I know you got the music, you got the production going on. I know I think he said something about September 24th.
Oh yeah. So September 24th, my new song's coming out. It's called Windmill Dreaming. Like Manico Windmill. Yeah. So, out in Palm Springs. Whenever you're coming in from LA or whatever, right? You know, when you're going eastbound on the 10 freeway, you just see the windmills, right? And so that's the first site you see, and that's like like the amazement, kind of like shock. You're like, oh my God, like, there's so many windmills. They're so big. And a lot of people, away from Palm Springs, they have this certain idea like of what Palm Springs is supposed to look like, what it's supposed to be like, and kind of correlates to like what people from like the East Coast think of California, in the sense that it's like such a dreamy place, like I guess so. That's what I wanted to do with my new song. It's called Wimbo Dreaming. It's a little bit more heavy on the industrial like house, but it's definitely a vibe, something that you can listen to at a pool party if you're into the electronica music. So yeah, that's coming out the 24th of this month. So be on the lookout for that on Spotify, Apple Music, and all the digital platforms. And yeah, so that's coming up. What are the future plans? I mean, I'm on the radio, and I thank God for that. And I have a morning show going 8 to 10. And the name of the show is the El Café. El Café Show. Sorry, El Café Show. El Café Show on MT Radio right there in Palm Springs, and we're broadcasted throughout the world. It's definitely available on Facebook, and they have their own application too. So it's MT Radio. So that's that. But it's gonna sound crazy, but my first step, or I should say my first step, I wanted to what's the best way? I'm just gonna say it out there. I wanted to be on TV. That's kind of like, I guess you could say, where the next step is going to be. The first step, I guess you could say, was being on the radio, because we broadcast live. But I remember seeing someone like Pauly D on Jersey Shore.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, well, how come I'm not doing that? That should be me. Why is that DJ on there? Like, so I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if it's a TV show, or if it's something like a reality, I don't think I would do reality, because I don't think I can handle that. But yeah, if maybe a TV show or something, maybe I could be. We'll
get ourselves a nice big house over there in Palm Springs, and we'll do like
something like that.
The real DJs of Palm Springs.
There you go. Yeah, so that's a sueño that, I mean, hopefully, I mean that be in the process. But if not, like I said, I mean, definitely the music production is.
But in all reality, behind this, behind or in the big screen, would you want to be doing acting or reality? Like, we talked about reality, but
I guess it would be reality,
or behind the table.
Well, yeah, like I said, I guess it would be reality in the sense that yeah, doing the DJ stuff. But a lot of people, it's weird. And obviously, we talked about it, but it's a lot of people always ask me, like, how's the nightlife?
Yeah.
Like, well, what is it you see, or what is it you live, or what is it, like, and there's that aspect of it. But me as a person too, people have this idea of, like, and like you said too, rock stars, but people have this idea of what a DJ is, and obviously social media has a way of kind of like pinning you a certain way, and it's primarily because of what you put on there, right? I mean, you have control of that, right? Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people don't know the behind the scenes stuff of what I do, I mean, and that goes with what I mean, like not only the family aspect of it, but just there's a lot to DJing that's more than just playing a song. I mean, and it's the stress that goes with it. I mean, the weird stuff that goes with it, the dark side of nightlife that goes with it, the traveling stuff that goes with it. Yeah. So there's so if that became a TV show, that'd be cool. But if not, I mean, like I said, just being on a TV show, being able to play like I guess Ellen DeGeneres has a DJ on her show.
Oh right, yeah.
Like remember, like In Living Color had a DJ Sway on his show, or Swift or something like that. So what I mean, being a DJ on a TV show would be kind of cool too. So that would be kind of like. Yeah. So if it was that, or if it was the other way, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah.
Yeah. There you go. If you guys are looking for a DJ, you guys know who to call. But no, you know what? Like, we talked about, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's just building your own.
Yeah.
Like, hire a crew, film yourself, produce it. Maybe get someone to produce it for you, and then put it out there and then sell it.
True.
You sell it to Netflix. Right now, Netflix buying everything.
Hey, that's true. Right?
Sell it to Netflix, put it out there, and then that right there is your resume to whatever you want, whatever residency you want.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just an option.
Netflix
or Amazon Prime. But no, man. I want to thank you, man, for coming out.
No, thank you, man.
And then allowing me to talk to you and pick your brain a little bit as to what goes in the life of a DJ. You know.
Yeah, man. Thank you. No, thank you, man. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for the beer. Definitely good times. I mean, never been out to this end of the area, West Covina and stuff, and it's definitely. It's beautiful out here. I mean, it's obviously a lot more fresh. I mean, I'm in a jacket. Like I said, I come from a very dry and hot place. 120-degree heat. I know we talked about it in the teaser, but yeah, I mean, it's no joke. So, I mean, for me, this is nice. And yeah, I'm obviously, but yeah, man, I mean, thank you. I'm honored to be here. And I mean, just chatting it up and vibing with you, man. That's for sure. Yeah,
thanks, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. Definitely.
All right, man.
All right.
Well, that's it, you guys. Make sure you guys follow him. I'll put all the information on the show notes down below, unless you want to just
I mean, I can definitely give you guys. You can follow me on my social media stuff. I mainly use Instagram the most. DJ_LF. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, everything you can think of. Like I said, DJ LF, or you can catch my music on Spotify. SoundCloud, Apple Music, all the digital platforms, DJ LF, and then my mix podcast, so to speak, where I put my mixes on, is Follow the Musica. So definitely check that out, and YouTube too, DJ LF. So yeah, for sure. That's hopefully everything.
There you have it. And if not, we'll put it down below in the show notes. So you guys check it out. Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you guys follow, subscribe, check me out everywhere. YouTube, all the same stuff that he's on too. So all right,
laugh a little bit. Yeah. Hosted by Fidel. Tell it like it is, only tell it real. Live every Tuesday, you know the deal. We talking again. Now tuned in to the tap in. Now tuned in to the tap in. Now tuned in to the tap in. We're talking again. Come on. We're live.